Cora P. Maloney College addresses itself to the scholarly analysis of the factors which contribute to social injustice and poverty in America. The college attempts to unite the university and surrounding communities in a search for solutions to the problems of minorities and the urban poor. The study of diverse topics such as welfare, cultural religions, urban economics, the communications media and the city, community services, constitute a primary focus of our academic program. Through exposure to individuals of local and national importance in a variety of cross-cultural and interdisciplinary settings, the residents of the Cora P. Maloney College learn to identify their personal stake in higher education and to relate education to the uplift of others in the wider urban community. The Center for Academic Development Services is a unique support service designed to provide talented students who demonstrate enormous potential with the advice, the guidance, and the support they need to achieve a maximum academic success. It is the mission of the Center for Academic Development Services to provide every possible avenue and opportunity to support the academic success and the ultimate life chances of each student admitted to the University at Buffalo through the Center for Academic Development Service programs. It is its intent to provide quality, holistic counseling and academic advisement, a sufficient and effective academic coaching, tutoring, and skills training, personal and social counseling and guidance, referral and access to every academic enrichment, career, or professional development opportunity for which the student qualifies, a liaison with all offices engaged in student support services, and personal and professional advocacy and support. What I just read to you were the original mission statements for the Cora P. Maloney College and the Center for Academic Development Services. For years at the University of Buffalo, those were two separate organizations. Very similar mission, goals, and objectives, but separate. Cora P. Maloney College, as many of you who know its existence, was headed by Dr. John Staley, who provided leadership to the Cora P. Maloney College in excess of at least 25 years, okay? Upon Dr. Staley's retirement, the notion began that perhaps there should be a merger of the two. And what the current Cora P. Maloney College configuration represents is actually a merger of the programs of the former Cora P. Maloney College and the former Center for Academic Development Services into one college. So it's one college now whose notion is to offer opportunity, access to students who normally would not have access, and to provide them with the support. But in addition to that, to tie that to the university and the community of Buffalo, particularly urban Buffalo, as a match and as a mission and as a purpose. And so that is what we are here to celebrate today. The mission and the merger of the two, of bringing and providing support to students who normally would not have the opportunity to attend a school as prestigious and illustrious as the University of Buffalo, and also to take those students and help them recognize their obligation to give back and give back to the areas from which they come, and particularly to work with urban Buffalo. And if you will take a look at your programs, not now but later, you will see the variety of programs that are engaged in the Cora P. Maloney College and all of the kinds of things that Cora P. Maloney College does to connect the city and the university. So with that said, I would like to now invite to the stage the senior vice provost for academic affairs, Dr. Scott Weber. But what I want to say before Dr. Weber comes to the stage, that you should understand it is only with the advocacy of Dr. Weber and the support of our provost, Charles Zukowski, that we were able to bring these two programs together and unite them into the Cora P. Maloney College. So without further ado, Dr. Weber.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the University of Buffalo, it gives me great pleasure to welcome members of the UB and Buffalo community here, SUNY trustee Eunice Lewin, Ellen Grant, deputy mayor, City of Buffalo representing Byron Brown, our great mayor, and New York State Assembly member Crystal People-Stokes, all great supporters of the university, and we're so appreciative that you're here. I'd like to invite and welcome other distinguished guests, and I'm pleased myself to join you today and welcome you to the rededication of Cora P. Maloney College. It's actually been a fantastic week this week, and what a great way to cap it off. So we've had, when I think about this, and I'll have a little more formal remarks, but I just wanted to add this because I was thinking about it as I sat in my seat. What I think about today is what I think about most passionately is celebrating success and reaching the great potential that all of us have, and in particular the students who participate in the Cora P. Maloney College programs. And this week we had Sarah Brighton, obviously a noted vocalist and well-known to most of us here on campus, and we had Michio Kaku, a noted astrophysicist, again, at the pinnacle of their careers at Buffalo. And I think it was a great way then today to rededicate Cora P. Maloney College as a capstone to that great week, and so I just thought I'd mention that. So when organized in 1976, Cora P. Maloney College was the sole unit, as Dr. Duran, I think, talked about just ever so briefly, at the University of Buffalo, which combined residential and academic programs to address the needs and concerns of inner-city citizens, minorities, and the poor. And he read those original charges. Its central focus was the continuous development of programs to educate students, that's what we're about, while making their college lives productive and enjoyable. And the college also embraced and was a strong advocate for the developing solutions to the problems of urban poor. Now, these foundational concepts reflected the values and accomplishments of Mrs. Maloney, a woman with deep concern for and understanding of these issues and a record of significant accomplishment. And I think we'll hear a little bit more about that today, I'm sure, in civic engagement, and especially in Buffalo, but not certainly limited to Buffalo. And since its inception, the college has continued to build bridges, I think strong bridges, to the community and to create a network of support for qualified students when they enter UB and throughout their studies. The goal of the staff and the faculty and the community partners is to inspire, encourage, shape, mold, cry with, hug, it's a very incredible partnership, and help our students reach their academic potential. And they do a magnificent job. So today's celebration is one of student, and I have that capitalized in my talk, student accomplishment as exemplified by the outstanding graduates who go on to earn advanced degrees, awards, and legacies of meaningful community engagement, all of which are a tribute to the standards of Cora P. Maloney. And I'm not going to describe every unit that's in that. That's what that program's for that you're not supposed to look at yet, but I know you will. Rather, I wanted to say that on a personal level, I have been witness to and humbled by the many accomplishments of the students at Cora P. Maloney College. These take many different forms, and there are many examples. Several of the most poignant for me are the annual award ceremony for EOP, where I hear, I think, incredible stories of courage, perseverance, accomplishment, and success. And they also then to the Great Summer Ronald McNair Conference. And there are many others where students who have actively participated in one of the university's core mission, research, describe their experiences, and present their results. Those are incredible experiences for me, and I hope I can communicate the depth of that emotion that I have for that process. These are made possible by not only talented students, but by a talented and fiercely committed staff. And for this, we celebrate today. We celebrate the past accomplishments, and we celebrate the future accomplishments for all the good that Cora P. Maloney College does and will do in the future. So thank you very much for coming, and I look forward to today's program. And I think it's now my job, if I'm not mistaken, and I look over to Henry for always good direction, is to, I believe, ask Ellen Grant, our Deputy Mayor, to come forward and say maybe a few words. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, I'm really pleased to be here, first of all, as a substitute for our Mayor Byron W. Brown, but also because within this institution in which I graduated, it's always great. It's homecoming. And I continue to serve on the UB Foundation, so it's just like coming home. But anyway, thank you, Dr. Duran and Dr. Weber. I certainly want to recognize Miss Leela Bishop, who's the niece of Miss Cora P. Maloney. And we know that it's important that this particular college be rededicated to its mission of community outreach and social justice, and reaffirming the connection between the University of Buffalo and the city of Buffalo. Cora P. Maloney served as a forerunner for many minority public officials in Buffalo, including the mayor. She was very active in the city of Buffalo through the Philharmonic Orchestra, American Cancer, and American Heart Associations. She served as the city's first councilwoman and the first Democrat elected in the Maston Council District, a position the mayor was elected to 38 years later. She was also the first African American to be endorsed by a major political party for a citywide elective office, and in honoring her legacy, the Cora P. Maloney College offers a valuable service, as we know, to the students here at the school, at the university. It teaches them how to be successful on the college level, teaches them how to embrace other areas of collegiate study, and teaches them about doing their due diligence in society and the community around them. The 3,000 students who are part of community engagement have worked as instructors and site coordinators for the Mayor's Summer Youth Internship Program. They volunteer at sites everywhere from Roswell Park, the Perry Choice neighborhood, and other sites. The administrators and students of the Cora P. Maloney College do a tremendous job honoring her memory, and we're all excited to see all that these students will do in the future. Thank you.
You know, there's danger in giving a professor the stage twice, so I won't be long. I just wanted to come up and welcome to the stage a great supporter of the university and one who's helped we appreciate so much, New York Assemblywoman Crystal People-Stokes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, and good afternoon. How's everybody doing today? In sunny Buffalo, by the way. Let me first of all start off by saying, to God be the glory for the spirit that he put into our sister Cora P. Maloney, not only to be the public servant that she was, but to be the public servant that she was. You can tell from reading her bio that not only was she an elected member of the Common Council, but she served on a number of very important agencies in our community, organizations in our community that provided an awesome service and also left for us a legacy of service. I think Cora P. is a clear example of what we have to do as people. When you gain something from community and from society, you have to give something back. We have to always be lifting as we climb. So I want to thank Dr. Weber and certainly Dr. Duran and his entire staff for having the wherewithal to offer this opportunity to rededicate ourselves as a community, as an institution, and as a society to the legacy of a woman who left us a lot. And I think we have the responsibility to carry that forward. You know, today we're experiencing so much movement in Buffalo. The president was here not long ago. He said it very clearly. Buffalo is on the move, and it is on the move. And as Buffalo moves, it cannot move far without its entire society. It cannot move far without its entire community. And so what's happening here at the Cora P. Maloney School, the organizations that have been started to make sure that the young people who attend school here are successful academically and otherwise, is exactly what we need to make sure that all of the efforts that have been put into Buffalo's movement, UB 2020, the biomedical corridor, all of the job growth that's going on, that everybody has an opportunity to access that. So again, I want to thank you for your efforts here. I know that, and it's really appropriate, I think, for UB to be in the leadership of this, because UB is a huge economic arm of Western New York community. And you can look almost anywhere across the board and you'll see the footprint of the University of Buffalo. And we want to make sure that that footprint comes in all ethnicities, all shapes, all sizes, and all genders. And so the Cora P. Maloney School speaks volumes to that. And so thank you for having, again, the wherewithal to add to this very important time in the Buffalo community, the rededication of this awesome institution. God bless you all.
It's actually my honor right now to recognize and point out to you, Miss Leila Bishop, the niece of Cora P. Maloney. So, Miss Bishop, could you just hold your hand up? And everybody. And I'd also like to point out to you that the picture that you saw of Cora P. Maloney as you walked in, that's actually off Mrs. Bishop's living room wall. And she allowed us to borrow that so that we could put it out front. I also would like to recognize the artist for the photo that we will unveil today, and that's Sonia Isabel Paguave. If you just kind of stand up and let everyone see you. And, you know, I mean, she's a fabulous artist, and I don't know why, you know, she's not, you know, all over Buffalo, to tell you the truth. Okay. In addition to that, I would like to recognize some dignitaries who have graced us. I'd like to recognize Senator Mark Grisanti, if you would, please. Thank you so much for coming. And I would also like to recognize Mr. Nate Hare from the Community Action Organization. Okay. And at this point, I would like to introduce and bring to the stage Doctors Peggy Brooks Bertram and Doctors, who is the co-founder and the president of the Uncrowned Queens Institute for Research and Education on Women, along with Dr. Barbara Seals Nevergo, our Buffalo School Board president, and also a co-founder. Go ahead. And also a co-founder of the Uncrowned Queens Institute on and Research on Women.
First, I'd like to say, let me thank you so much for having my colleague, Dr. Barbara Seals Nevergold, and myself to speak on this auspicious occasion. We both have long-standing relationships with UB. I have a long-standing and special fondness for UB beginning in 1986 when I first began as visiting faculty in UB's first School of Allied Health Professions. Since that time, I have served as adjunct faculty, staff, student, volunteer, and ardent supporter of UB's Community Engagement Initiative of the late 2000s, early 2000s. Barbara and I are especially grateful for UB's massive support of the Uncrowned Queens Project, totaling at least $1 million over the years as we participated in numerous campus activities. The Uncrowned Queens Institute is humbled to have assisted the Cora P. Maloney College in its mission to increase access and activity for deserving students, to enhance academic support and retention, to support community involvement and community services, and to motivate graduate studies. We continue to reminisce about the students who worked with us in gathering data and conducting research to support Uncrowned Queens. I remember one student who examined our records and compiled information on all the uncrowned kings who had served in the U.S. military. It was staggering. We hope to prepare a book on that information citing the work of this student. The Cora P. Maloney staff over the years has been wonderful and includes individuals from the Daniel Acker Scholars Program, the STEM program, Ronald E. McNair, C-STEP, EOP, and the Academic Enhancement Programs. Students from these programs enhance the Uncrowned Queens webpage when no other entity in the world was doing this kind of community historical work. They assisted in gathering data and contributing to research for the webpage, which early on received the Webby Award, the International Webby Award for Outstanding Content. We did that here at UB. Further, we were enriched by being called upon to present at the Cora P. Maloney College conferences. The college helped the Uncrowned Queens to promote its award-winning books on Buffalo's uncrowned queens, the vast majority of whom had a UB experience, many beginning with Cora P. Maloney College. They also participated in Uncrowned Queens focus group studies on uncrowned queens and their health issues. Cora P. Maloney College was one of the early supporters of Uncrowned Queens. The Go Tell Michelle book of letters to the First Lady Michelle Obama, one of the most exciting books of 2008, for which we received numerous awards and commendations around the country and here in UB as well. In essence, the Uncrowned Queens relationship with Cora P. Maloney has been one of the most satisfying and fulfilling experiences of the Uncrowned Queens career at UB. While UB decided 2 years ago to discontinue support to the Uncrowned Community Engagement Initiative, we can't deny that we had a wonderful run, some of it because of Cora P. Maloney. Nonetheless, despite this setback, still we rise. Before introducing, you can applaud. Before introducing Dr. Nevergold, I want to personally thank very strong supporters of the Uncrowned Queens: Letitia Thomas, John Staley, Shauna Crump, Mrs. Hare, Professor Henry Duran, and our long-term colleague and friend, Professor Lillian Williams in African American Studies. And we thank them for their continued dedication to our important work. And if I left anyone out, please accept my apologies. Dr. Nevergold will speak with you about Cora P. Maloney, one of our most exciting but often overlooked Uncrowned Queens. And finally, working with the Cora P. Maloney faculty and staff has been a very pleasant, with a capital P, experience. Pleasant was Mrs. Maloney's maiden name, for real.
Thank you, Peggy. Peggy and I have often perfected this tag team routine over the years because we've been working at it since, actually, I'm going to say 1999, but long before that. I was asked to do a little history of Cora P. Maloney. You've heard some of her accomplishments from Dr. Grant, but I want to share with you a quote that I found that she made in 1957 when she was talking about her political creed, she said, "I'm a feminist. Women are the watchdogs of civilization. It's always the feminine voice which cries for better government and better social laws." Before her time, but right on, correct? Absolutely. I will say that when we try to talk about what Uncrowned Queens, Uncrowned Community Builders, Uncrowned Kings is, it's a history project. It's a preserving the histories of African American women and men in this community, in this region, by way of collecting their biographies, reclaiming the biographies, and preserving them on our website, and by sharing those biographies. And I often use Cora P. Maloney as an example of why it's so important to do that. Because when we started this project in 1999, we asked the community to be part of this, to engage in us in helping us to find the biographies along with photos of individuals. And we did have a great deal of success at the beginning. We were working on the Pan American Exposition. But later on, as we've continued this project, we often hear from people saying, "Oh, we didn't do anything, spectacular, nothing important to document." And we keep saying, yes, you have a history. There are history makers among all of us. It's not just the people that we see in February, the national heroes and heroines whose history have been documented, but it's all those people who have been the community builders in this community whose histories haven't been well documented. And unfortunately, Cora P. Maloney was one of those individuals, because even among her contemporaries in 1999 who were still around that we could talk to, not many people knew a whole lot about her or could say a whole lot about her other than she was the first African American, not only woman, but the first African American to serve in the Buffalo Common Council in 1957. And I started the research on her. I met her niece, Mrs. Bishop, Lola Bishop, and we talked. So from researching through newspapers, and it's very, very hard. I mean, those of you who are history know that if we don't have firsthand documentation about people, letters and things that they've written, you've got to go to some other sources to try to find out about them. So I've been working on this history of Mrs. Maloney for some time. And I'm not going to read all the history because I want you to go to the website. I want you to use the website. But just recently, just to tell you a couple things that I found out from her by looking through newspapers online, and not just local newspapers. One was from Omaha, I think, and the other one was from New Orleans. But I found out just the other day that when she won her first term in 1957 for the Common Council, she made history, of course, by doing that, but she also didn't have the endorsement of the Democratic Party. So she ran unendorsed. They didn't endorse her until 1959. I thought that was significant. In 1958, she refused to attend the U.S. Conference of Mayors in New Orleans because of segregation. At that time, they told her she could not stay in the same hotel as the other delegates. So she said, quote, "I feel I would abdicate the principles of my group if I went to the conference." As a result of her stance, Mayor Frank A. Sedita, the Buffalo mayor at that time, also refused to attend the conference. So again, we have a woman that has a deep history, and people have said legacy, that I hope that the students who are attending the college understand that there's not just a name, Cora P. Maloney, the first African-American woman to be the Buffalo Common Council, but it's a woman with deep principles, a woman who served not just through the Common Council, but also served in many philanthropic organizations. And I think Dr. Grant mentioned, the Philharmonic, the American Red Cross, et cetera. In her first term in office, just to give you another little tidbit, with 15 other women, she formed the Good Neighbors Committee to contact newcomers to the community, welcome them, and in a friendly way, let them know what was expected of them. The group encouraged new families to participate in community life, right? So we have a woman of deep commitment to the community. We say community builder in every sense of the word. That's what she was. Still researching. I'm sorry I put Ms. Bishop on the spot just a minute ago because I don't have the date of her birth. I know she was born in Kansas City, Missouri, so we're going to work on that, probably about 1905 or so. Oh, I just want to say one other quick thing. She had a day job. During everything she did, she had a day job. She was a medical technologist, thank you, at ECMC. Then it was a different, did I said EC? E.J. Myers. Well, it's ECMC now, isn't it? Yes. So I just brought it up contemporary, E.J. Meyer Hospital. So this was a person whose history is significant. There are other people in our communities whose histories are very significant that we need to make sure that we don't lose, because once it's lost, when people go, we won't be able to find it. But again, I thank Dr. Durant for inviting us to participate in this. I invite you to go to our website at www.uncrownedcommunitybuilders.com, and you can read a thorough biography, at least to date, that we have of Mrs. Maloney. It certainly is, I think, a fitting tribute to rededicate this college in her name. I'm sure that her niece is very proud, and the community should be proud as well. Thank you.
We do have a plaque for Mrs. Bishop, Lola Bishop, and I'll read it. It says, "In recognition of your advocacy in uniting community and education in the city of Buffalo, New York, September 27, 2013. I'll come down, Mrs. Bishop. At this point, we'll ask the video group to cut off the projection image, and we have a short video about the Cora P. Maloney College. Thank you.
I think the Cora P. Maloney College is a real asset, especially for students like me.
Through this program, I discovered that I love research.
College provided me the opportunity to grow, to mature, and to discover who I really am.
Cora P. Maloney was one of Buffalo's most distinguished African-American citizens, a community leader and advocate for educational equality. In 1976, the University at Buffalo established the Cora P. Maloney College in her honor. Today, the college continues her legacy by supporting diverse students from lower-income backgrounds and forging strong connections with the city of Buffalo.
Cora P. Maloney College, we would like to think of as Buffalo's college within the university.
The college offers a wealth of programs that promote diversity and excellence. Some provide a pipeline for talented non-traditional students to enter the university, like the Daniel Acker Scholars Program.
I feel that it was a huge gift to get the scholarship through the Acker program, and just a huge gift to be where I am in my career today.
My main goal as a student is to open as many doors as possible so that I have an opportunity to make some changes to the world later on.
Once students enroll at UB, the Cora P. Maloney College helps to nurture their success. The EOP Summer Bridge Program is an intense 4-week boot camp where first-year students take classes to strengthen their skills and prepare for university life. The college also provides tutoring, personalized advising, and an overall sense of community.
I kind of needed a bit of a roadmap, kind of how to do certain things and knowing where the resources were.
Just to be able to vent and just to have that emotional support. You know, I think sometimes it was a difference between quitting and just walking away and giving up and the motivation to keep going.
Undergraduate research is a mainstay of several Cora P. Maloney programs. It gives students an enriched academic experience and lays the groundwork for future opportunities in graduate school or their professions.
Being in the C-STEP program, I definitely learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about what the research lifestyle is about.
And to hear those students so passionately explain what they've done thus far and how proud they are of what they've been able to accomplish. And not only the specific technical details, but the bigger picture and implications of their research is pretty incredible.
It showed me to look forward, not just to look at what I'm doing at this present moment. It allowed me to take my whole education into perspective and not only see that a 4-year degree would be good for me, but also maybe even pursuing a doctorate.
The McNair Conference is one of the opportunities that we put together in order to make this real for students. We probably get 50 graduate school recruiters to our conference every year, and from some of the most prestigious institutions in the country looking for these students.
I was in doubt of even applying to professional school. I thought that I wasn't good enough and they're not going to accept me. And this research has given me the confidence to go on and pursue my goals and become what I want to be.
While students develop themselves, the college also encourages them to create positive change in the Buffalo community. There are courses on topics of local relevance, as well as service learning opportunities.
So what does GLOW stand for?
Give, live, outward.
Okay, awesome. It means something within you that makes you special. Buffalo is one of the poorest cities in the nation, and I know that in order to help change that, you need to not only give to Buffalo, but you need to invest in Buffalo. So I wanted to create Girls' Day so I could have a little leadership conference for preteen girls, because this is where I feel that girls are most vulnerable.
Students from the Cora P. Maloney College make significant contributions to the Western New York community and achieve success at many levels.
There's so much raw ability out there, and there are a lot of kids who are just bright. But being bright isn't enough if you don't have the bridges and the sort of the connections and support mechanism to get bright to reach its full potential.
I'm currently working on 2 PhDs, one in physical anthropology and one in transnational studies.
In 2013, I was recognized as a Truman finalist, which was a huge honor, and it allowed me to join in this community of other people who had strong academics and wanted to change the world as well.
My name is Brittany, and I used to go to this club. It's all about being grateful for the support and the access that you received and just trying to give that right back.
At this time, I would like to ask all of our presenters to join us on stage to unveil the portrait of Let me just say before Dr. Stott comes, this is one of 2 photos. We also will have a second photo, and we'll have one in each office, and we'll have the second photo done by, what's your husband's first name? Yeah, Glenn. Huh? Okay, I knew artist Cooper, but I didn't know William. By William Cooper as well, an artist, a local artist here in the Buffalo. So both of these are local Buffalo artists. Okay.
Thank you very much, Henry. My name is Andrew Stott, and I'm the Dean of Undergraduate Education. And me and my speech are all that remains between you and your refreshments, so I'll keep it brief. This is a wonderful event, and I want to thank you, Henry, and all the staff of Cora P. Maloney College for putting it together so well. Thank you to our esteemed guests, Deputy Mayor, Assemblywoman Peoples-Stokes, Ms. Bishop, thank you very much for coming, Senator Grisanti, and all other friends and colleagues, thank you very much for helping us celebrate this rededication. I just want to say that Cora P. Maloney College is central to the mission of undergraduate education in so many ways, and I'd like to think of this rededication as a challenge to all of us in undergraduate education to rededicate ourselves to the mission of what we do, which is essentially to provide access and opportunity for all people and to open their minds and transform their lives. And so I'm really grateful for the opportunity, Henry, to think about that and refocus our efforts every day on making sure we provide that for our students. So I also have a very special commission here because I'd like to, as many of you know, Henry Durand is, at the end of this academic year, going to transition onto the faculty of the Graduate School of Education. And at this time, I'd like to honor him and the great work he's done dedicating his life to research, education, and access and opportunity programs, and to the encouragement of others. So please, Henry, would you come and join me on the stage? Bonnie, would you like to come through? So, just one second. So throughout his career, Henry has been successful with expanding opportunities and support for students in need of access programs at the University of Buffalo. He's also been instrumental in the growth and development of many similar programs throughout New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. He's held true to his commitment to ensure that those students who are presumed to be disadvantaged and incapable of doing well at an institution like ours leave it well prepared and as accomplished graduates ready to become leaders, make contributions to society, and to give back to their communities. He's helped to raise the level of awareness of the importance and value of opportunity programs and has served as a role model and mentor to countless individuals. Today, Henry's vision and tireless efforts to transform the undergraduate experience for thousands of students will culminate with all of the programs he has overseen for the past 23 years being rededicated as Cora P. Maloney College at the University of Buffalo. And I'd also like to announce that as a special recognition of the great work Henry has done over such a long and storied career, that we at UB are very, very pleased to announce the establishment of the Henry J. Durand Scholarship Fund.
How many of you were in on this? Okay, I see lots.
That's your number one culprit.
Yeah. I see lots of hands. But, well, let me say, there's no greater honor, I think. Give me a minute. There's no greater honor than to be recognized by your colleagues, your friends, and the people that you work with in and out every day over the years. You know, from the time that I came here 23 years ago, you know, I came here a little bit radical, you know. And, you know, I've learned how to mediate that a little bit. But I came always believing the same passion. You know, I'm going to take a minute or two, and I'll tell you a little story. I was on faculty in Kentucky, Northern Kentucky University. And I got this call from a culprit named Henry Taylor saying, send me your resume. And I said, well, okay. Henry Taylor and I had worked together at the University of Cincinnati for years and had done very similar kinds of programs before he went on to, teach at Ohio State and ultimately Buffalo. I sent him my resume, and then, I never thought more about it. And 6 months later, he called back and said, well, we need you to come up for an interview. I said, hey, interview for what? Well, evidently there had been a search going on for director of VOP, and Henry had put my resume into the pot, and it had made its way all the way through to the finalist. Being from Ohio, I had all these stereotypes about Buffalo. I said, Buffalo? And the only thing I had known about was the 77 blizzard, or whatever, and Henry said, well, I said, I don't think so, maybe, and he said, no, you need to come. So you never seen Niagara Falls? Come see that. And so I did come, and I had the pleasure of interviewing at that time Dr. Muriel Moore, who, later Muriel Howard became president of Buffalo State College. I interviewed with her, and Robert Palmer, vice president, student affairs. And when I found that this program was as supported as it was, I had always believed in these kinds of programs. And I started my career in higher education in TRIO, but at that time in the early 70s, late 60s, TRIO programs were the stepchild of the university. That's what they were. Out of sight, out of mind, and very, and funded from year to year, you never knew. But when I recognized the support that existed at New York State in the programs here at the university at Buffalo, I was swayed, and I went and I told my wife, Bonnie, I said, I think we're going to Buffalo. She said, Buffalo? And, that's back in 1990. And, I have come and I've done everything that I could to make these programs do what they initially were intended to do. You heard me read the missions. I really believed that. I was foolish enough to think that that's what they were supposed to do. And, and I've done everything I can to do that. And so, standing here 23 years later, with the culmination of all of the programs and all of the people, you can't overlook, the John Johnsons who work with OUPP and, and the John Staleys who for years, ran the Cora Maloney College and all of the other, programs of this nature. To be standing here, I think is the ultimate, ultimate treasure. I will treasure this. I'll put this on my wall, and thank you all so much.